The Labour Party have recently reached a bit of an impasse, where the Scottish Labour Party are challenging the UK's party over the second referendum. Leaders of both parties, Jeremy Corbyn and Mr. Leonard, have a bit of a disagreement over this. This all comes about because John McDonnell on Tuesday, which he also repeated on Wednesday, said he would not block a second referendum in Scotland, which has given Nicola Sturgeon a bit of a boner. She believes there is a growing urgency for an independence referendum because of the threat of no deal. The position that John McDonnell presented, though, does contradict that of Scottish Labour policy, which does oppose enough a referendum anyway, which has then led to the Scottish Parliamentary Labour Party issuing a statement criticising the National Party, where it said, "We deplore any attempts to undermine the official policy position of the Scottish Labour Party, and we express serious concerns about an apparent change in Labour's position on a matter of vital importance to the future of Scotland and of the Scottish Labour Party itself. Scottish party policy is very clear. That is opposition to a second referendum. There is therefore an urgent need for the UK party to engage constructively with the Scottish party on the issue of the party's stance on the future of Scotland." Now, it is almost tradition at this point that the leader of the party for Labour and the Chancellor always be of differing opinions, ones that challenge one another, with the leader then blindly just doing what he wants because he's right. Of course he's right. Sarcasm signs somewhere, please, seriously. The point really, it's quite common. We saw it with Gordon Brown and Tony Blair all the time. There is nothing wrong with having a different position. Theresa May's government had that problem as well. I didn't take issue with it, to be honest, because I felt it was best to be honest. This, though, is quite irritating. I know that when Scotland voted to remain in the UK, they voted to remain under the pretense we stayed in the EU. Unfortunately for that, it didn't end the way they wanted. And yes, they did for the majority vote to remain in the EU. So perhaps there is an argument that can be made that Scotland can vote for another independence referendum now that more young people exist and they are idealists that think they can thrive outside the UK in the EU, where their voices will be put through, as I've earlier said, a universal translator to Klingon, and they'll be muffled because nobody cares about Scotland. The statement also added, "We are clear Labour's position on Scotland's future is a decision for Scottish Labour, which the UK party must accept. We expect all Scottish Labour MPs and MSPs to vote in accordance with party policy." The leader for this party, Richard Leonard, had the opportunity to speak to John McDonnell on Wednesday to outline his position on the issue. One of John McDonnell's comments that he said on Tuesday was, "I'm not being set up by Nicola Sturgeon to blame the UK government for blocking the will of the Scottish people. That's too trite a political manoeuvre that's been taken on at a moment. In the situation we are in at the moment, my view is that we will not be blocking a proposal. The best way forward in all of this is to elect a Labour government. We will demonstrate what we can do, and then I think the Scottish people won't be interested in another referendum. But if they ever do come back, my view is you can't be in a situation where you block it." I find that to be quite interesting. See what Labour can do. You've already said that if no deal was there presented, you will then say, okay, we blink, we'll remain. The current polls that were published on Monday, opinion polls no less, show that 52% in Scotland support independence, which isn't much, to be honest. I think it would be, like last time, a very close vote, if it ever happened. I think sometimes you have to accept that your voice isn't the only one. And I think if you don't get your way now with independence or with Brexit itself, you're equally not going to get your way when it comes to the EU. A number of your policies, I'm sure, align with that of the EU. But based on a number of issues, fisheries being one of the most important ones to you, I think you guys would suffer. I don't think you truly grasp the scope of that. When you are defeated and you know you cannot win, you don't simply say, you know what, I didn't get what I want and I can't airstrike you, so I'm going to walk away from the table because that's what grown-ups do. No, you take the defeat and you work with it, unless you're Theresa May, in which case you airstrike it. If you want to, by all means, strike us down with your saffron. I'm sure we will be very, very much upset, particularly those who suffer from hay fever. They are going to be absolutely stricken. The former Scottish Secretary David Mandel said Scotland shouldn't be denied a second independence referendum if a pro-independence majority is returned at the 2021 Scottish parliamentary election on a manifesto of holding a further ballot. It should be noted Mandel does support Scotland remaining a part of the UK, but of course at the same time he does respect that if Scotland wants it, Scotland will get it. Where he was quoted as saying, if the 2021 Scottish Parliament election is fought explicitly on the issue of another referendum, and there is a majority of nationalist parties, then you do have to listen to that. I find it funny that when it suits you, nationalism is preferable to you guys to then go globalist. But somehow being a nationalist is seen as a racist in this country, the whole of the United Kingdom, that is, England, for the sake of it, let's go with that. Or in many other countries, because it's been co-opted, because it's too hard to take it back, so we become something else.